Hey folks, Jim Leila here for a very special episode of Geeking Out. It's our top 5 best and worst movies of 2011.
Yes.
Oh boy, here we go.
Yeah, researching this, I realized that there's way too many movies that come out every year.
Yeah, about 8,000. I only get to see about 200 myself.
And I saw less than that. But...
Yeah, so what we see is probably some stuff that you haven't seen, or what you have seen is something that we didn't like.
Yeah.
So don't judge us. This is just our thoughts on what's the best and worst of the year.
Yeah.
So I'm going to start off with my top 5 worst.
Okay.
Feel free to harp in when you want.
Okay.
Alright, so number 5 for the worst is a tie between Twilight, Breaking Dawn Part 1 and Sucker Punch.
I will say that while I am a semi-Twilight fan, that Part 1 I did not enjoy, because I think it can be one movie. It didn't need to be 2 movies, and there was nothing really that could be gained
no
by
reason
doing
to put it into 2 parts.
No, they could have easily done one movie, cut out a lot of stuff that was filler, and I'd be good.
I think the thing that ticked me off the most is when I went to see it for the preview, the audience stood up and cheered at the end. I was flabbergasted. I'm like, why are you cheering this? It's terrible.
Well, I guess because she's not dead, and maybe for people who hadn't read the books, there was like maybe a moment where they thought she died, which... Really? Really?
Okay.
Sucker Punch. On to Sucker Punch.
On to Sucker Punch. Yeah. As I call it, rape the movie.
If it was just like the half of the movie in the fantasy world...
Yeah.
Just that movie, I would be
I will give
cool.
it 2 things. Fantastic soundtrack.
Oh yeah, great.
Fantastic
great
action scenes.
Yeah.
The rest of it, forgettable. And really ticked me off when it's basically, what are you do? What are they doing? They're dancing for guys and basically stripping and da 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 da. It's rape, basically. It just. It sickened me.
I don't know.
No end.
And
yeah, I'm a guy, but it really
it wasn't even
disturbed
that. It was
me.
just like that story part of it. It wasn't even really that interesting. I don't know. They didn't.
No, I agree. I agree.
Don't know. It just. It suffered a lot, and I was really looking forward to it because it was one of those like really publicized movies, I think, and it just didn't perform anywhere where it should have. So.
No.
But anyway. No.
So what's your number 5 worst?
Well, this is, again, something that, pretty hyped and then didn't really perform for me was Immortals.
Ooh, yeah.
Right? I mean, you're like, that looks kind of like 300, and it could be cool. And
yeah, and 300 wasn't great to begin with, in my opinion.
Wow, shut your mouth. I love that movie. Anyways. Well,
when you go into the actual book of 300, the book is a hell of a lot better than what the movie was.
I'm not talking about, and even the original 300 Spartans movie is completely different.
Great.
But was it a faithful adaptation of what Frank Miller did?
More or less,
More or less, yes. Was it pretty much shot for shot a lot of what was in that book? Yes.
No.
Yeah, you can look at the book and the film, and it's like literally the same shot angle.
There was a lot of stuff cut out, mind you. But
there's a lot. That's time and whatever.
Yeah.
But anyways, back to Immortals and why that was disappointing. It's just
I think the whole green screen genre type thing is just...
It's maybe past,
it looks terrible.
Although we're all looking forward to movies that are like more or less completely, like a lot of green screen, like The Hobbit, right?
Yeah.
So,
Hobbit... Peter Jackson does a lot of...
Yes, they have lots of real sets and stuff, but there's still a significant green screen effect.
Oh, yeah.
In every
But he tends to be able to blend it really well.
Yeah, I guess this is...
Immortals looks like you're looking at a green screen all the time.
Yeah, true.
And that's one of the things I didn't like about Sucker Punch as well. It just looks fake.
Yeah.
It doesn't look real.
Yeah.
And that was my problem with it.
Back to you.
All right. So for my number 4 worst movie is the remake / prequel to 1982's John Carpenter's The Thing.
Yes.
Or, if you're going way back, the 1950s Thing.
Yeah.
Which was also fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
But, wow. What a way to ruin a film.
Well, can we be surprised? Like, with the constant remakes and sequels that are happening right now, it just doesn't feel like you're just robbing your childhood all the time.
This movie just rapes what has been set before, and basically, goes, yeah, we know you like this movie, but we're gonna screw it completely.
I think they wrecked the suspensefulness of it in favor of
Here's the thing that worked about the thing in 1982. The amazing effects.
Yeah.
Guess what? CG does not look half as good.
I know.
As prosthetic effects and makeup effects. It doesn't. It looks shit.
Yeah.
And I hate
That's why,
saying
like,
it,
Harryhausen is awesome. That's why Harry Winston is awesome.
Exactly.
That's,
But, yeah, it looks terrible, and CG has no place in this film. If they had gone with completely prosthetic effects, they would probably have cut down on the cost, and would have looked a heck of a lot better, and made the film probably a lot more enjoyable.
Yeah.
But when I have characters that I can't even care about, and there are no characters to care about in this film. I mean, honestly, there's no one to care about. You just like going, okay, you're going to die, you're going to die, you're going to die, and I couldn't give a crap.
Like, horror films really work when you care about, like, if it comes down to one person in jeopardy. Like, that's why Halloween works. Like, you care that Jamie Lee survives at the end.
Yeah.
You know, you care about that character.
Agreed.
So, you know, if you can't do that, then why bother?
Yeah, so what's your number 4?
Okay, I am number 4.
How terrible.
Funny, right?
Yes.
Yes. I was looking forward to this movie. I was saying to people, I want to see this. It looks like such a cool premise, and then somewhere it failed.
And it failed all over the board, in my opinion, but, I mean, yeah, it had a great, interesting premise to it, but it really failed all over the board when it was executed.
Yeah, you know, and it was disappointing because, you know, I had somewhat looked at the book and, you know, I didn't want to know too much before, and then I was like, oh, wow, this really isn't as good as I hoped it would be. I don't know.
Okay, so on to number 3. For me, it was another tie. It was Hop and Puss in Boots.
Imagine if they put those two movies together.
Guess what? They're written by the same guy. Our favorite writer of all time, Brian Lynch. And you know what? They both suck.
It couldn't have, it might not have been all Brian.
It wasn't all Brian. I'm not going to put the blame completely on him, but either way, both movies sucked. Both of them talked down to their audiences. I mean, Hop is one poop joke after the other.
Yeah.
Okay, pretend you're the Easter Bunny. How do you think you would create the candies and everything that the Easter Bunny lays out for people?
Oh, I see what this is.
Yeah. He poops them out.
Yeah.
Ooh, that's really funny. Clap, clap, clap.
Maybe that's a comment on the content of candy that you eat at Easter.
Either way,
I
but
don't know.
there's so many better ways you could do it. I mean, you could go, poof, oh, candy.
Yeah.
Instead of going, ugh.
Yeah.
Oh, candy. Yum.
Yeah.
Jelly beans are my favorite.
Yeah.
They come right from the Easter Bunny's ass.
Yeah. What about Puss in Boots? Why did it really fail for you?
Puss in Boots is a sequel/prequels thing that we did not need at all.
You're missing the heart of the film, which is Shrek.
Exactly, and we didn't need 2, 3, and 4 for Shrek either. But it's an interesting character, but it's just executed poorly.
Yeah. Okay, so next up for me, it's kind of heartbreaking to say it, but because we really like Mila, but Three Musketeers
was terrible.
Now, obviously, you knew
way too many genres into a film.
Too many genres together.
Not need that.
You're trying to make a sort of fundamental change to kind of the story, and the studio put nothing behind it, really.
Exactly. Yeah.
Really nothing.
There was no advertising for it. There was nothing. I mean, you saw the advertisements, mind you, but there was very little.
And is it because they knew they made sort of a crappy project? Who knows?
Who knows? But either way, not a great film.
Not a great film. I mean, there's some stunning visuals at parts, you know, but overall, I don't know how many people saw it. I don't know.
I did, but I got to see it for free, so who am I to complain?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, for my number 2, another sequel that no one asked for, Alvin and the Chipmunks Shipwrecked. Yeah, when your actors go on talk shows going about how much they hated working on this project, you know it's bad.
Yeah.
And considering it's the 3rd Chipmunks sequel,
yeah,
we didn't need 2.
I like the first one. I thought it was charming.
I thought the first one was
cool
charming.
Stop there.
We did not need any more.
No.
And the fact is, it's another family film that talks down to its audience, which I absolutely loathe.
Yeah.
And it's one of the reasons I got canned from my other review job for a newspaper in Toronto.
Oh.
I badmouthed the parents for taking their family to see this piece of crap.
But you and I had this argument too about.
Oh yeah, well yeah. I mean,
if Hollywood gives you this many choices,
yeah.
and you're going to the movies this week with your kids, what can you do? So in some
go
ways,
see a better film like The Muppets or Hugo.
Yeah, there you go. So. Up next for me, Battle LA. Didn't like it.
Terrible.
Thought it was terrible.
You know what had better battle scenes in it?
Transformers
3. Yep. And still not a great film, mind you, but certainly blew Battle LA out of the water.
And again, it was one of those, I didn't really care about the characters, whatever.
You didn't care that they died. That's the thing. It's like, oh look, they're heroic soldiers going to battle aliens and everything, and you don't care one iota if any of them die.
No.
Which is not a good way to portray a film.
No. And for you, your number one worst, I guess, would be... Right?
Can you guess what it is? Can you smurfing guess what it is?
Yeah.
It's smurfing bad. It's... Yeah, the Smurfs.
Yeah.
It's, I will forgive Neil Patrick Harris for this travesty.
Because we love him.
Because we love him. But I will not forgive the smurfing smurf this out of their smurfing smurf hole.
Yeah.
Because it's, terrible.
It was bad.
And I'm going to swear in smurf here, but smurf. Terrible film.
Hank Azaria was kind of okay.
I liked Hank Azaria's Gargamel. He played it perfectly.
Yeah.
That's the only good part. There's nothing else to enjoy about this film.
Yeah.
It was terrible.
Yeah. It's hard when you put the Smurfs in like a real world
And once again, another family film that talks down to the audience.
Yeah.
Poop jokes abound. It was, it gave me a headache.
Yeah.
And making every quote basically be Smurf, 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 Smurf. You get, it breaks your brain, and I just wanted... Halfway in, I wanted to take a gun and blow my brains out. Yeah. And I mean that literally. And now there's going to be a sequel, so I'm like...
It's only, you can only go up from there.
Yeah.
Right, I guess.
Remember Transformers 2?
Yeah.
Anyway.
All right.
What's your worst film?
My film that I liked the least this year, and it kind of disappoints me too because I enjoy Adam, is Jack and Jill.
Oh.
Did we need it? No. And it's just more of a repeat of like actors playing multiple roles again.
And we don't need any of that because even Eddie Murphy can't do that right anymore.
No, exactly.
Yeah,
so
it has no point. There's no point.
Hollywood, stop making these.
Adam Sandler and Eddie Murphy, stop making these.
And stop making remakes like Final Destination Number 5 and Footloose and Scream 4. And can we have some new stuff? New stuff, please.
New stuff would be nice, but it ain't gonna happen because Hollywood is stupid.
Yeah.
But anyway, so let's get on to the top five best films of the year in our personal opinions.
Yes.
I'll start off. My top 5 best, number 5, is the British film Attack the Block.
Okay.
Now, what I like about this film is it's everything I loved about Shaun of the Dead and Hot Fuzz. Mm-hmm. Different director, mind you, but same producers.
Yeah.
So it's a wonderful alien invasion film, and just genre-wise, it's fantastic. Now, here's the thing. It starts off with characters you start to hate.
Yeah.
But as the film goes on, you really start to like them. And that's a really good thing in a film like this, because you want to see them make it to the end. You want to see them survive. But, of course, not everyone does. So, but yeah.
That's effective then.
Basically, it was everything that I loved about Shaun of the Dead and Hot Fuzz, and nothing that I hated from Edgar Wright's last film, which was Scott Pilgrim, which I absolutely loathed. Mm-hmm. But this was a fantastic film. I highly recommend it to anyone who's a genre alien invasion type fan. Great film, wonderful cast, and even really good effects for the small budget it had.
Okay, so here's my one tearjerker chick flick movie that I'm going to put on my list, and I'm going to go with 50-50.
Fantastic film. If
Joseph Gordon-Levitt.
If Joseph Gordon-Levitt does not get an Academy Award nod for this film as Best Supporting Actor, it's going to be really sad. And as much as I hate Seth Rogen, he was good in that film.
Yeah.
He was good.
Yeah.
Which is surprising to say because I hated pretty much everything he's ever been in. But
I kind of Zack and Miri Make a Porno grown on me, but it's taken many viewings to grow on me. But other than that,
I mean, Monsters and Aliens I enjoyed with him, but that's about it. Yeah. And that was only his voice. So. Yeah. But yeah, it was a great film.
Yeah.
Really heart-wrenching at scenes and touching and funny at others. Yeah, it's a great film.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Mm-hmm. Next up. Bring on the comic book movies.
Captain America.
Yeah.
Okay. Here's the thing I love about this film. This really harkens back to Joe Dante's last comic book film, which is The Rocketeer.
Yeah.
Stylistically, it looks great.
Yeah.
Beautifully shot film, wonderful set pieces, wonderful action.
Hugo Weaving
as Red Skull was fantastic.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was everything a comic book movie needed to be.
I liked it. It was one of my favorites. I only
agree.
picked one other comic book film that I liked more than this one.
Yeah,
this year,
and I loved it to death. It's probably my favorite comic book movie of the year, other than, well, Tintin, but that's coming up.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I simply adored it, and stylistically it really reminded me of Rocketeer, which was a good thing, because I love The Rocketeer, as many people might not, but I did.
Yeah.
So...
Okay, next up for me, some of you might go, what? Really? But I enjoyed The Eagle. Don't judge it on Channing Tatum being in the role.
Hey, at least we get to see Channing Tatum die early on the new G.I. Joe movie this year. So,
I'm not going to claim that he's a fabulous actor, but I will say...
Which he's not, but he does have good movies every now and then, so that's
but
okay.
I loved this movie. I thought it was really awesome. If you haven't seen it and you're interested in stories about Roman Legion and all that stuff, it's just really cool. I thought it was really good. And it was one of those ones where I went with really low expectation. It came out and went, you know what, I did really enjoy that movie, and I think more people should give it a shot. So, that's why it made my list. I think you should give it a shot.
Next up on my list, as I just mentioned, Tintin.
Yes.
Fantastic comic book movie. Mm-hmm. Simply gorgeous to look at. I saw it in 3D with a preview audience. It was wonderful. Mm-hmm. Here's the thing. They're using the same technology that they used for Polar Express and everything.
Right, yeah.
But the dead eyes are not there.
Yeah.
They're no longer dead.
Oh, that's cool.
It works. It works. Mm-hmm. Amazingly, it works. Huh. It's a gorgeous film. Great characters that you fall in love with instantly.
Yeah.
It's a family film that does not talk down to its audience, which is exactly what the Hollywood needs to do more of.
Yeah.
Sadly, not a lot of people are going to see it, but please do yourself a favor. Go see Tintin. It's simply fantastic. Your kids will love it. The action set pieces are amazing. Mm-hmm. The animation is spectacular. If you go see it in 3D, it will blow your eyeballs out. Yeah. It is just wonderful. So yeah, it's definitely up there as my top pick for comics movies of the year. So if you've never read Tintin, go buy one of the books, go see the movie. You're going to just have a blast.
Next up for me is another movie sort of for kids. I went to see it with my niece and nephew, and we all really loved it. It was Rango. I really, really enjoyed it.
Gorgeous animation.
Yeah, gorgeous animation.
ILM.
Johnny Depp was great.
Yep.
I thought it didn't talk down the audience. It had a message.
Yeah. You realize that it's basically a kid's version of Fear and Loathing, right?
I don't know if I would go that far. Well, you mean the way Johnny played it? I guess.
The character of Rango? Yeah, it's basically the Fear and Loathing character all over again.
But the message of the movie is completely different.
The message is completely different, but it works so well.
Yeah.
There's a lot of really good adult humor in there.
Yeah.
It doesn't talk down to its audience, which is nice. Fantastic animation. Good music. Yeah. Probably one of the better family films of the year.
Yeah, I liked it. It's probably one of the family films I will actually go. I will buy a copy of it. But I liked it.
All right, so up to number 2 for me. Now, here's the thing. I will say this right now. This is a better film than my number 1 pick, but I just happen to like the number 1 pick a bit more. Yeah. My number 2 pick is Scorsese's Hugo. Mm-hmm. A wonderful, wonderful family film. If you do not take your family to go see this, you're bad parents. Go take your family to see this film. It's simply wonderful.
Maybe go once without your kids so you can see the whole thing.
Yeah.
Then go again.
There's a lot of humor and everything that adults will get. Yeah. And kids can follow the story of young Hugo as he basically aspires to become who he will become, and I'm not going to spoil anything because that would spoil the entire film. Yeah. Sacha Baron Cohen is in this film. Mm-hmm. I loved his character.
Really?
And that's a big surprise for me because I hate
that
other stuff he's done. But he is so wonderful here.
Yeah.
He is probably going to get an Academy Award nod for this.
Oh, wow.
It is that good.
Okay.
And you start off hating this character, but as you watch the film, you learn to like him and understand who he is, and it's just wonderful.
Yeah.
And I don't say a lot about characters, especially played by people I've never really enjoyed.
Yeah.
But he just does it so wonderfully here, and it works so well.
Yeah.
And it is probably the perfect family film. And yeah, it is better than... I will say it is a better film overall than my number one pick, but I just love the number one pick a bit more than this. So don't judge me on that. Yeah. It's true, but...
It's personal choice.
It's a personal choice, and I stand by it. So, yeah, go take your kids to go see Hugo. It's simply wonderful.
Okay, so my number 2 is Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows Part 2. Mm-hmm. Now, I know a lot of you...
Or, a.k.a. everyone dies.
Well, there's some significant deaths earlier in the first part, but this one really wraps it up. And if you're like me and you're a fan of the books and you've read them, the part where... And I'm going to spoil things here, so if you haven't seen it... Really, but when Neville chops the head off of the snake with the sword, don't you want to be like, yeah, like,
go Neville,
right? And we kind of did that in the theater. I'm not nerd. Anyways, I love how they bring the series to an end. I liked how they brought the series to the end in the book. I could have done without the first half of the book. I've made no bones.
AKA camping.
The camping could have. I could have.
That could have been just
cut. Yeah, it could have been cut. And again, this could have been one movie if we'd cut some of that.
Yeah. No need to put it in 2 parts. But
but
still a good ending to the series.
Yeah, Ralph Fiennes really good. Always.
That's Ralph Fiennes.
Yeah, So, I gotta say, even if you hadn't read all the books, I think most people can agree that, it was a fitting end to the series, and it was really well done.
All right, so we're here. Number 1.
Yeah.
Can you guess what it is, folks? It is The Muppets. Okay, as I said before, yes, Hugo is a better film overall than The Muppets, but personal choice, I just enjoyed The Muppets just a little tad more.
Yeah.
No, it won't get an Academy Award.
No.
Probably for music it will. The music was fantastic. Maybe. But, it's just probably the perfect family film.
Yeah.
It is wonderful. It's a really good evolution and also pays respect to what has come before.
I thought so. I thought it was pretty good. I saw it twice, so I thought it was good.
I saw it 4 times, but but yeah, it is a perfect family film. It doesn't talk down to the audience. It's just one of those films where you can go, you can stamp your feet, have fun, sing along. It's just one of those feel-good films.
Yeah, I thought it was pretty good.
And it really tugs on your heartstrings at parts, and I loved it to death, and I cannot wait to own it.
Yeah.
Because I will show it to my nieces and nephews, and...
I thought it was a lot better Muppet movie than some of the other ones that are out there.
Yeah, it is a really good return for the characters, and...
So I thought that Jason Segel did a good job.
Yeah, and Amy Adams was great.
Yeah.
The new character, Walter, you really fall in love with.
Yeah.
You really take heart with his journey as he becomes who he's meant to be, and
you gotta love the Jim Parsons cameo.
Okay, we're not gonna spoil anything, but he's
in it. I'm just not gonna tell you what happens.
He's in it, but it's all the cameos in it. I mean, you have the longest Mickey Rooney, the longest working man in show business.
Yeah, awesome.
And if you don't know who that is, shame on you. Yeah. But, all right, so that's my number 1 pick.
My number 1 pick is, not surprisingly, a comic book movie. And putting out there that, yes, there's probably lots of other, films that are going to get nominations that might be better.
Well, your pick won't get an Academy Award.
This is going to get no awards at all. No. But I enjoyed it. X-Men First Class.
Yes. Fantastic.
I loved it.
Yes.
I thought it was a great return for the X-Men because, let's face it, the X-Men franchise had gone kind of down.
Yeah.
And this I just thought was so good. Michael Fassbender was awesome. James McAvoy was awesome. Kevin Bacon was a great villain. I mean, you gotta there was just a whole bunch of stuff to like here. And for me, it was my number 1
Very little to not like, but there was some continuity. But I'm sure it'll all get fixed up later.
Yeah,
but,
there'll be like a director's cut.
Yeah, I mean, it was a great comic book film overall.
Yes.
And you can't complain. It was a great comic book film.
Yeah.
So that's basically our top 5 best and worst films of the year.
Let the debating begin.
Let the debating begin. If you agree, agree. If you disagree, disagree. Tell us what your thoughts are. We'd love to hear from you. We will see you next time.